Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I want to start today by thanking so many of you who continue to reach out, watch these videos, leave comments, ask questions, all of that fun stuff. You can find more videos and information from me on Instagram at Samuel_healing. Today, I want to tell you a little story. So we moved to Austin roughly 17, 18 years ago. We rented a fantastic house and eventually bought it. And in front of that house, to this day, is this tree. And it's a beautiful tree. It has grown throughout the years as my kids have grown. And I'll never forget, during major storms in Texas, years and years ago, this little tree would be bent over. And we always wondered, man, is the tree going to make it? And it did. It has grown with my kids. We've decorated it during Christmas. We've done all kinds of things to it. It is a marker to the front of our home. I've loved this tree. And just when I thought maybe it wouldn't make it years and years ago, through all these tornado warnings and monstrous winds and pretty heavy storms in Texas, it continued to live. That's until 2 years ago when we had this monster ice storm, and it blanketed Austin with more snow than we've ever had since, I think, the early 1900s. Well, the tree has now died, and it is confirmed dead. And I was picking up a bunch of branches that had broken off during our latest tornado warning last week, and I had this moment where I sat in my front yard by myself and just felt this overwhelming sense of grief for this tree that has meant so much to us. And I'm faced with people coming by all the time, leaving business cards saying, hey, we can remove that tree for you. Hey, do you want that tree cut down? I have all kinds of people just cruise through the neighborhood. And it's an enormous trigger and reminder. And I say that lightly with great respect to what you deal with as betrayeds in your triggers and reminders and intrusive thoughts. But I want that to be just a picture of the pain that we all go through in one way or another. I tell you this story because what's true in life and trees is true in infidelity. And what I have to tell you is that some things in life are going to die. As you go through this process of trying to heal from infidelity, some things cannot be revived. I've tried everything with this tree. I tried so hard to save it. I thought, man, it's going to be okay. And so many people with the same type of trees that were installed by the same builder years and years ago all made it, all lived, are all doing great, and mine is crumbling apart. And as we go through infidelity, as we experience betrayal, or as we have betrayed our partners, there's going to be some things that don't live and don't make it to the other side. At the end of the day, some relationships do not make it through infidelity. The blind trust or the sense of naive trust that we had for our partner will not make it through to the other side. This image that we may have had of our partner will no longer remain the same after infidelity, after our partner has betrayed us, or maybe after we have betrayed our partner, our own self-image will no longer remain intact. It will have to be healed, restored, worked on, and I'll come back to that. The illusion of perfection, and that this idea that, man, we had the perfect marriage, I thought we had the perfect relationship, will not make it to the other side, because when you're going through infidelity, some things are going to die. For you unfaithfuls, this blanket freedom that you used to have, where you just kind of go where you want to go, do what you want to do, you don't check in, you don't have accountability, you don't have this sense of, hey, I'm accountable and my partner is really worried about where I'm at and that you just kind of do whatever you want, if you're going to try and save the relationship, that has to die. Alternatively, when you have two partners who are willing to work hard and do whatever it takes to heal, I have to tell you that there are some things that are actually going to flourish. And you may not read about them all the time. The loudest voices are not always the most healed voices. But I can tell you that your relationship can, in fact, soar one day. I can tell you that your sex life can absolutely be healed and restored and not continually be hampered or invaded by thoughts and feelings and emotions and visions. I can tell you that your intimacy, your oneness can be repaired, can actually flourish one day. The sense of respect that you have for one another, it has been marred by infidelity, but you can get it back. Yes, I know some of you are like, yeah, right. But listen, how you as an unfaithful handle this. Do you do the work? How compassionate are you? How empathetic are you? Have you owned your choices? Have you rallied around your partner or your family or both of them? And have you owned what you've done? And have you decided to say, okay, I accept this. This is what I've done, but I will own it. I will embrace it, and I will work to repair it, because for those of you that do, your spouse or partner will incredibly respect how you handle it. And you, as an unfaithful, will marvel at the character and the integrity on the betrayed to embrace it, handle it, deal with it, and actually heal. It is possible. I know you're bombarded with voices that say, once a cheater, always a cheater, and he's a selfish SOB, and they'll never be the same. And all these voices, all these things that are being said, just because it is one person's experience does not mean it will be your experience. As I wind down today, I want to give you two hard truths to embrace today. I know that came off a little bit cavalier, like, hey, take these truths. But if you can embrace these truths, they will change your life. They will change your perspective, and it will create the opportunity for a new trajectory in your relationship. Number one is, I have to tell you that this infidelity cannot be undone. The choices that you've made or the choices that your partner has made cannot be undone. The sooner that we as unfaithful can accept that fact, the sooner that we can come to a point of radical acceptance and say, okay, look, I can't live in denial. I can't keep blaming. I have to accept that this has been done. And as you as a betrayed are able to say, okay, this has happened. This is my life now. Doesn't mean you have to love it. Doesn't mean you have to be so excited about it. But this is your life right now. I was talking to a therapist the other day, and she was saying how she has this very heart-to-heart talk with couples in crisis. And she says, you have a choice to integrate this into your life, into your story, into your now, into your possible future together, or you can stay in denial and give yourself over to countless negative coping skills like drug and alcohol abuse and oversleeping, overspending, continuing to just hide and try and run from the pain and the hurt. But if you can integrate this into your life, it actually can be redemptive. It can be restorative. If you can own what you've done or own what's been done to you and accept it, you begin, with the right help and the right approach, you begin to take wings and you start to go, okay, I'm going to do the work I need to do to smile again, to live again, to feel joy again, to feel meaning again, and to find this new version of myself that I can't seem to find because I know you just don't feel like yourself. And it's understandable because you're going through raw, palatable trauma. But it doesn't mean that you're going to stay here forever. The second hard truth is that we have to come to the point where we embrace the fact that either we did this or our partner did this. It's what they're capable of. It's what we're capable of. There's a breakthrough where you are kind of removed out of the matrix, where you're no longer on autopilot, and you can accept that this has happened. You can accept that they have done what they've done and say, okay, it's time for the work to begin. And you can't do their work for them, but you can do your work, and you can take what you have and say, I will build with what I have. What I didn't tell you is in the backyard, I have this phenomenal giant oak tree. It has to be probably the nicest tree in anybody's backyard in our whole section of our subdivision. And it's flourishing and it's gorgeous and it overshadows the entire backyard. And we have a tree swing on it. And I prayed so hard, please God, don't take this tree. And I love that tree. I'm putting lights in the tree, building a fire pit. And there's a point as I leave you today where you say, I'm going to rally around what I do have. I'm going to rejoice in what I do have. I'm going to take what I have left. And if you're watching this, you have your life left. You have meaning, you have value, you have purpose. You have the rest of your life left. That tree in the backyard is what I have left. I will rally around that. I think I have to take out the old tree and plant a new one to keep my HOA happy. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, but right now I'm going to rally in the fact that I've got a gorgeous tree that I still love, that I still have that tree, and you still have things in your life, your self-respect, your self-love. Maybe you're working on those things. Maybe you're trying to improve them. But don't give up today. Don't give up on you. There's still beautiful things left in your life.